Good afternoon, all you wonderful money masters and treasure hunters out there. Welcome to the Tom O'Brien Show. I'm your guest host, Steve Rhodes, filling in for Tom one more day. He was unable to get back from the Northeast. He will be back on Tuesday. It is Memorial Day weekend and a TGIF, folks, so please make sure that you drive safely. You can drink, but no driving. No drinking and driving. Be safe out there. It is Memorial Day weekend. Maybe some of you are already on the road right now listening to us on the radio. We absolutely do appreciate you doing that. You can also watch us on Tiger TV. You can watch us live. You'll be able to see my charts. I promise to do my best and give you an incredible couple of hours together, and I'm going to teach you something. I always will teach you something about the markets, teach you how to become a better trader. You can always give us a call, folks, at 877-927-6648. Now, if you're not familiar with me, I kick things off for TFNN each and every day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. sharp. So if you're wondering where the markets are going, most everybody else tells you where the markets are at. Well, we know where the markets are at. What you want to know is you want to know where the markets are going. So you tune in to me 9 a.m. I'll tell you where the gold market, where the currency markets, where the foreign exchange, where the foreign markets are going, whether it's the DAX or the FTSE, the U.S. markets, you name it. You can always give me a call, folks, there as well. Now, I also do a show with Tom. Tom and I do a show called The Money Masters. Now, my show is archived on Channel 9 on Tiger TV. You can catch all of those shows, as well as the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day. I also run Tiger Metal Exchange for us, so if you're looking to buy or sell bullion, and there's been a lot of people trying to sell bullion these days, then we're the guys to call it Tiger Metal Exchange. Our call number there is 866-618-8888. And as well as I do a newsletter, you could say I'm a little bit busy, but I love it. And my favorite time of the day, folks, is now. It is being here with you. If we take a quick tour around the markets, we have the Dow finished down 75 points out of 12,454. You had the S&Ps off almost 3 points. Let's round it up. Off about 3 points. You had the composite off, rounded up to about 2 points. You had the Russell 2000 flat as a pancake out there. I believe we've got 2 days of dojis out there. We'll have to take a look at that on the Russell 2000. New York Stock Exchange off 18 points. INDX 100 off 4. You had King Dollar up 38 ticks today, closing out at 82.52. Gold trading out at 15.72. Silver out at 28.45. Light sweet crude only up 10 cents, thank goodness, especially on a weekend where everybody is driving. A lot of people, I think AAA said somewhere around 35 million people on the road, something like that. So do be safe out there and just, go easy. You don't have to rush to get there. Now, before we go take a look at these markets, I've got a question for you, especially with it being Memorial Day, and we're here to honor all those men and women that sacrificed their lives for us. That's really what Memorial Day is all about. And so I've got a question for you, folks. Is the best you can do all that you can do? Just think about it. Is the best that you can do really all that you can do? See, strangely enough, I believe the answer to that is unequivocally no. Since it's Memorial Day weekend, and since we're recognizing and celebrating the life of all those folks that gave their lives and sacrificed their lives for us so that we can have the freedoms that we do, folks, I'm sure that each of them, if you think about it, each of them probably did a few push-ups in their life, don't you think? So if I asked you right now to drop down to the floor and do some push-ups, how many push-ups? If I asked you to do your best, how many push-ups do you think you could do? Now, if for some strange reason you haven't been in the business of doing push-ups lately, maybe you kind of put exercise off to the side. That means you haven't been listening to our man Nico DeHaan every Friday from 12 to 1. But let's just say that you kind of put push-ups off to the side, but you still drop down and you said, no, Steve, I'm going to do the best I can do. And let's say the best you could do was 5. Now, is that really the best you can do? The answer is unequivocally no. You know why? Because you can take a little bit of a rest, can't you? You can take a little bit of rest, and then you can do 5 more push-ups. And then you can take another rest, and you can do 5 more push-ups. And sooner than later, you'll be up to 50 push-ups. So you see, just taking a little bit of a rest, maybe just changing things just slightly, you always can do better than what it is that you just did. And if you're a disciplined person, folks, then each and every day that you push yourself harder, maybe today you started off and you did 5. And maybe next week or the week after it's 10. And maybe after that it's 20. And voila, soon what we've got is a miracle. Because what seemed like might have been the impossible, even though you were doing the best you could do today, down the road because you were disciplined, you can do so much more. And what you can learn from that, folks, is that what you're doing is you're just simply taking a rest. Now, when we take, and what I want to use there, folks, is the metaphor for the markets. Because the patterns that we each have in life, they're the same patterns that exist inside the marketplace. They show themselves each and every day. You know, we talk about taking out swing points here. Talk about taking out swing points. Maybe it's B points on volume. And oftentimes what the market is doing is just simply taking a rest. Maybe the market is doing a push-up. Was today a day of rest for the market? Because there certainly wasn't any volume out there. So was today a day of rest? And when you have a day of rest, folks, usually what you're doing is you're building up energy. So think about it. That same metaphor, it's the same way that it works in the markets here. And that's what I want you to know. Now, resting, folks, whether it's doing push-ups or it's doing the markets, it's not a necessity. It's an objective. That means I don't want you to rest too long, because if you rest too long, all of a sudden the weeds start growing up. You get a little crickety, if you will. So the objective, folks, to creating miracles is to rest, but because it's an objective. You see, the objective in life, folks, it's to act and to think of more disciplines that you can add to your life. So as they say in the armed services, folks, be all that you can be. Happy Memorial Day to each and every one of you out there. Be safe. So let's go take a look at these markets because they absolutely were resting here. But you know what I'm going to first do? Instead of going to take a look at the S&P and the Dow, because I think what you want to know is really what the heck is going on out there. And I want to tell you what is going on. I want to tell you now that the week has ended, what we're doing is we're going across the pond, and then we're not going to start off taking a look at King Dollar. We're going to go look at the Queen. We're going to take a look at Queen Euro. And Queen Euro, folks, even though in the United States we're going off to a holiday weekend, over up in Europe they're just having their weekend, and they didn't want to take any of their queens to the parties. The Queen finishing below a swing point. It had been resting. It rested all last week when it got down to a low of 126.412. Well, let me tell you something, folks. The swing point that it was going against, the B point, it was going against a swing point and a B point, and it blew it away with wide price spread. The low out there, August 27, 2010, 1.25861. Well, the euro closing out 1.25135 is what it's trading at right now. Blew it away, as Tom likes to say, in spades. Well, you take a look at the most previous swing point low out there on the weekly chart, and what you are looking at is the week of January 13, 2012, 1.26229. Now, why is that important? You may say, hey, Steve, I don't have any euros in my trading account. I don't even trade the currency pair. Well, folks, everything in life is valued in some type of currency, whether it's dollars, whether it's euros. When we talk about the King Dollar is nothing more than a basket of currencies. The euro, which happens to represent something like, I get these confused. It's either 65 or 56. Some huge percentage of that basket of King Dollar really is the euro. Then you got the pound and you got the yen. So it really does matter. And since gold is measured in dollars and everything you're going to do this weekend is measured in dollars, you want to be able to get your head wrapped around what's going on inside the currencies. Closing below this because it puts energy. Remember, now we're going into a long weekend here. We're going in the U.S. into a long weekend when you can get a lot of rest. Well, here's the deal. There's no swing points on the weekly chart anymore for King Dollar or for the euro to take out to the downside. You've gotten through all. If I was your pilot and we were going across the pond right now, let's say we were going from Europe back here to the good old U.S. of A., and I was your pilot, I would be turning off that sign that says we're no longer in turbulence. You can go ahead and take your seatbelt off. Of course, it's going to be a wild ride down. It could be like a roller coaster as the euro makes its way down to the price point of 118,754. Our markets have held up pretty good the last couple of days. But, folks, if we were going to take a look at any one thing in the market, this is what you want to understand. King Dollar is on its way to the moon. We come back, we can take a look at King Dollar because it, too, has just a couple of swing points before it's on its way. Speaking of the moon, folks, I think today they landed the first commercial spacecraft up at the space station up in the sky. Not too bad. 877-927-6648 at the Dow off 74. Give us a call, folks. We'll be right back.